podcast. We're your hosts, Abby
and Leighton, and welcome to episode 1. We thought it would be a good idea for episode 1 to introduce ourselves and tell you guys all how we met, which is funny because I don't remember how we met.
Okay,
really.
I remember.
Yeah, you have a better memory than I do. So
I would say I don't think I do, but I do remember. Also, I kind of like holding these mics. Kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
We also, I think our first sponsorship should be Swig.
I agree. I get a Texas tab.
Yes.
For anybody wondering.
And a Beach Babe for me because I like Mountain Dew because I like the sugariest
which
drink.
Is crazy. Mountain Dew is just feral. Yeah, I am not a Mountain Dew person.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, but first, let's introduce ourselves. So I'm Abby Greer. I'm originally from St. George, Utah. I grew up there. I went to Desert Hills High School, for any of you that went there. And then I moved to Provo, Utah in 2019 for school, which is how we met, which is we'll get there. Mm-hmm. And currently, we both are graduated. I graduated in advertising in the creative direction. And now I live in Vineyard. I have a swimsuit company, and I do book talk, which is...
She does. You guys should all go follow her at abby.reads2.
Wow, I'm so impressed that you know that.
I keep up to date. I watch your videos. I'm in the loop.
I know yours is Lay Reads a lot. Well, that's like your thing that it says. It's
yes.
What's your at one?
That's a great question. I don't even know if I know. I used to post a little bit, but then I was so bad. And Abby's so good. So go follow her. Maybe I'll resurrect it at a later date and time. We'll see.
We definitely should. But you're going to be in charge of this TikTok first, so you can focus on that one.
Yeah. This is my priority right now.
This is your job. Anyways, and I have to add that I have a boyfriend. He's cute. We've been dating for 3 years, and I love him. So
yes.
Shout out to Andrew.
We love Drew.
All right, your turn.
Okay, my name is Leighton Reed, which is funny because this is LA Reeds, so it's practically my name.
Someone asked me if my last name was Reeds because that was like what my username was, and I was like,
really?
No, but that'd be so convenient.
Yeah, shout out my husband, Justice Reed, for giving me that last name because it wasn't before.
Yes.
But about myself,
Where'd you grow up?
Oh, we are actually in my house right now.
We are.
I was born and raised in Draper, Utah. I know, very exciting. I went to Corner Canyon. If you went to Corner Canyon, I'm sorry.
You're not watching this video, obviously.
Yeah, you're probably not watching this video, and if you are, please
leave.
You don't need to be here. But yes, I went to Corner Canyon. I grew up a cheerleader, which I don't even think you mentioned, but Abby is also a cheerleader.
Well, yeah, but I didn't do it as much as you did.
That's true. I did 6 years of tumbling, 6 years of All-Star, 2 years of high school, and 4 years of college, which I think, I'm not a math person, but I think that might be like 18.
Maybe I don't do math either, so I actually have no idea.
But it's a lot of years. I did a lot of cheerleading, and then I went to college, and I also studied advertising. Except I went into the strategy track. So Abby and I had a couple classes together.
We are basically the same person is what we're trying to get at.
Yeah, we read the same books. We majored in the same thing. We like all the same things.
We cheer together. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll come to know we're practically the same person.
This is why we were best friends.
But I actually met my husband on the cheer team, which is so funny.
So cute.
Because he's so quiet and I'm so not quiet that I literally walked up to him. And the first thing I think I ever said to him was, "Tell me your deepest, darkest secret." And he was like,
"Is that really what you said to him? Was it in the during work weeks when you were when we were in ice bathing?"
No, yes. Well, it was in work weeks, and we were both made captains.
Oh, that's right.
We had like a retreat thing, and I was like kind of weirded out because I'm like, who's this random guy that's just like tagging along? And so I went up to him and I was like, it's my mission. I need to figure out who this guy is. Went up, said, "What's your deepest, darkest secret?" And I'm pretty sure he said, "Who are you?" And I was like, wow, true love right there.
True love right there.
Then we fell in love and we got married. So we got married before I graduated. But besides that, I now work at a civil engineering firm. I am a public involvement coordinator, which sounds super awesome. And it does
sound really cool.
It is. It is super awesome, but it's not as crazy as it sounds. But essentially, if you have any issues with construction and you want to yell at somebody, I'm your girl. I get yelled at.
To be clear, yes, she is the one that you're yelling at.
Yeah, get yelled at a lot, which is really fun because,
which is hilarious because you hate confrontation.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, hate it.
Yeah, besides that, did I miss anything? I mean, you probably know me
how
better.
We met.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta talk about how we met.
I'm gonna pivot to you at first and let you know what I remember because my memory is so bad.
Okay, well, we were living on the same floor, like, in our building freshman year.
Yes.
We went to the same college. The reason why I remember you is because there was, like, the Heritage Halls, like, party before school had started, like, the new student orientation, and
yes,
one of my roommates had gone to high school with you and Caitlin, who was your roommate at the time, who had also gone to Corner Canyon, and so we, like, and so when we went to this party, we just, like, saw you, and so my roommate, like, went up to you guys and was like, hey, and I remember you because you were wearing, actually, I can't remember if it was either your, like, black and white, like, checkered pants or it was pink jeans. Either one, it was one of those things, and I remember being like, these girls are so cool, and this girl, like, I really want to hang out with them, but we had, like, separated, and then my roommates were kind of lame, so I, like, spent literally that whole night, like, looking for you, and I couldn't find you guys. I think I was looking for you and Ashley, because both of you. I can't
believe you wanted to be my friend after you saw what I was wearing, because I was in my angsty phase, so I was super into, like, ripped jeans. Okay, not like the cute ripped jeans though, like the ugly ripped jeans. And like my worn down, I probably was in my checkered Vans because I wore those into the ground.
And you also drove Cisco at the time, which was like your little like little tiny like 2-door box car.
Yes, Cisco, named after the guy Cisco from The Flash, because
is it actually?
Yeah, because we have the same birthday, me and the actor. 420, by the way, is my birthday, so
it's a good way.
It's a flex.
It is a flex. Anyways, so that was how I remember meeting you, and then, but after that, like, I remember that's how I met you, but I don't remember how we, like, ended up hanging out. I literally don't remember.
This is funny because I'm glad you brought that up because I don't remember that one as much. However, I remember, I think it was a couple nights later, and it was a little bit when school had started because I remember I went to my first writing 150 class. If you're taking that class or have taken that class, I'm sorry.
It's like the beginning, like, intro writing class at BYU.
Yes. So I had taken my writing 150 class, and there was a kid in there that was a couple years older than me. And we found out we went to the same high school, but since he was a couple years older, he was maybe like a senior or junior when I was a freshman. He ended up asking me out on a date. And I was stoked because I was like, this is like my second day of college and I'm being asked out. Oh my gosh.
Husband on the way.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be married by the end of the week. This is crazy. Just kidding. Don't do that. But I ended up going on a date with him. It was a flop. Major flop.
I don't even remember who this is. You're going to have to tell me later.
Yes, he will not be named for the time being. And then I was like, doing the walk of shame, but like not in a good way, like in the that was disappointing way. And I walked out towards the back door of Heritage Halls, and Ashley, my roommate, comes running to me and she's like, we're hanging out in here, you need to come over here. And I was like, whoa, what the heck? And me and Ashley met maybe 3 days prior.
Yeah, because you guys were roommates.
So I'm like, this stranger is like dragging me into another stranger's room. And it was yours. And
it was mine?
Yes. You were all out in the hallway, and it was you and Kennedy and Alyssa and
that sounds right, but that's really funny. I'm surprised it was my apartment because we never did anything at my apartment.
Actually, it was probably Kennedy and Alyssa's apartment.
It was definitely probably Kennedy and Alyssa's apartment.
I forgot you moved in with me after a semester.
We had some issues. Freshman year tings. Roommates and all that. Yes, okay, I remember now. But after that, and then we had a night where we, like, do you remember? It was like the football team was away. We, like, went to, like, 2 different parties, and then we, like, went and welcomed home the football team at, like, 3 a.m. from the Provo airport. Do you remember that? We were also freaking
Unfortunately, yes, I do remember that.
I remember because I didn't know anything about BYU football. But Kennedy and Alyssa were, like, freaking out because Zach Wilson, like, walked out and was, like, giving high fives. And Alyssa goes, he gave me a high five.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe I did that. I was, like, so desperate for socialization and to meet people. I was like, you know what? Airport at 3 a.m.? Yeah. Did I have cheer practice at, like, 6 a.m. the next morning? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I did. But I didn't care. I was like, I need to socialize.
Yeah, we did a lot of stupid things, but from there, our friendship blossomed.
It did.
Mostly just because we are both really loud. We also, you'll probably hear us mention Kennedy and Alyssa a lot, who are
Yes.
our other best friends that we all met freshman year. We all lived on the same floor. We all lived together later, and we are all equally as loud and chaotic. So
yes, that's a great way to put it. And
yeah,
Abby ended up moving in with me
freshman year.
freshman year
this first semester.
after first semester, but we didn't live in the same room.
Oh yeah,
we were just in the same apartment. And then after that, we ended up living together for what? 2 years?
2 years after that, until you got married.
Yeah, until I got married.
Which was lame.
I know. Sorry,
Ooh.
guys.
It's fine. But no, actually, I remember though, because COVID happened our freshman year, and so when I got back, me and my family went to Hawaii, and then we came back, and like no one was. Olivia, my roommate, was gone. Like it was literally just you and me and Caitlin and Ashley, I think, and I think Caitlin left at some point too. Anyways, and no, Caitlin had to have left because then we pushed your bed, your two beds together in your room and slept in the same bed for like 3 weeks straight.
3 weeks, and we had the star projector.
Oh yeah,
that went on the ceiling. Slept in the same bed with the star projector every night for 3 weeks. Yes.
Anyways,
exactly.
So that's our friendship. Now, I feel like we have to describe and we need to make this point because we talked about it in the car earlier, was that we didn't talk about books, like basically the first 3 years of our relationship, of our friendship.
I didn't know Abby read at all. Like, that was a foreign concept to me, and I read in secret because I thought it was kind of nerdy. So I kept it under the radar.
Well, the thing was that I read in high school, but then once I got to college, I just didn't have time, and I just didn't care. We talked more about writing than we did reading.
Yeah, and if you guys will come to find out, Abby has written a book. A full-fledged book.
So have you.
I am more about talking about writing a book than I am about actually doing
We're going to get her to
the
write
writing,
book.
but if I ever get to that point, I'll let you guys know. No,
we're gonna have updates every once in a while about the writing journey. But yeah, like we literally talked about writing before we talked about books. Our like relationship with like books and stuff and talking about books didn't happen until after we graduated last May, when I started getting back into reading.
Yes, because the only interaction I remember between us with books was when you were moving into my apartment and I saw you brought Six of Crows.
Oh yeah, because I did bring all of my books with me freshman year, and then I left them at home after that. And
you had Six of Crows and Shatter Me, and I had just read Six of Crows, so I was like, oh, maybe this girl's got taste. And then I had purchased Shatter Me, but I hadn't read it yet, and that was like the one book that you were like, you have to read this.
Yes.
And so I did. I tried. Well, I DNF'd it twice, but then I read the whole thing, and then I loved it on the third time. So
we have to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll unpack that probably later.
Based off of what we're going to talk about today, that's one of my books that we're going to talk about today.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I feel like that was good. So, how we met and who we are.
Yeah, sorry, that was a little lengthy.
Sorry. Yeah, we're gonna try our best though to keep these under an hour. These episodes. So basically, we have like a way that we want to do these podcasts. We're gonna try at least and make it our best effort to do that. So, the idea is that we'll do a nice little welcome, a nice little chat, a little catch up. We'll do what we're currently reading, what we've read this week. And then we'll jump into our segment of what we're going to talk about. And then we'll usually end by playing a game of some sort. Or drafts or something like that. So
something fun.
Something fun and entertaining so you're not bored of us talking for forever. And we're going to try and keep it under an hour. Yes. We're going to try. I promise we'll try.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Okay, so that's what we didn't do yet. So what have you read this week?
Oh my gosh. I've been all over the place because I don't know about you, but I try and have a physical book, a book on my Kindle, and an audiobook going at all times because at my work, I get the opportunity to listen to a lot of audiobooks. Yeah. So I'm like, those are saved for work. The hard copy books are for home, and Kindle is like on the go, you know? So I just read Bride by Ali Hazelwood.
Oh, you're telling me about this.
The girls that know because I don't know about you guys, but I picked it up without knowing what was inside. And Ali Hazelwood is notoriously a woman in STEM rom-com writer. And that was not what this was. Not in the slightest. Was I disappointed though? No, I wasn't. I loved it. I loved it.
But you did?
Yeah, I gave it like maybe 3.75 stars.
Oh.
People were saying it was 5 stars. They're being a little dramatic. However, it was good. I liked it.
Oh.
And then I also, for audio, I started the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy.
Oh, I
if
haven't
you've
heard of
of
that
it,
one.
it slaps.
Really?
I think I'm like 80% of the way through book 2 right
Oh.
now. Very unique concept.
Mhm.
It's like a human girl that is raised by chimera and collects human teeth for them.
That's disgusting.
Bear
but
with me.
sure.
It sounds bad. It's incredible. I'm
Okay.
loving it right now.
Sure.
And then the other one, we just talked about this, is I went into the bookstore to get Saving Six, the third book in the Boys of Tommen series, because I thought that would be my next
Oh.
read. And I stumbled upon an L. Kennedy book
Oh,
that
yes,
I
yes,
did
yes.
not know about, which you probably can't see it in frame right now, but I own every L. Kennedy book. I am an L. Kennedy
How many does
stan.
she have?
She has the
That's a lot,
Off-Campus
no?
series, Brighter You,
Oh, wait, you really do have a lot of her books.
Misfit and Rogue, Good Girls Complex, Bad Girls Reputation. Yes, the works.
Intersecting.
I walk in, on the table, 5 minutes left until Barnes & Noble closed. I don't find Saving Six. I'm walking out distraught. And then I look at the table, Girl Abroad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never read this. I didn't even know it was out. And
Yes.
so, immediately purchased.
Well, we were literally talking about it, how I was like, I just bought this new romance book. I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and it looked really good. And I was like, it was called Girls Abroad. And she goes, I just bought that one, too.
Yeah. Immediately bought, because the only other, what do you call it, like a study abroad book that I've read is Again But Better by Christina Riccio, which
Oh.
she's the YouTuber,
Mm-hmm.
and loved it. Ate it up. But it was YA, and Elle Kennedy usually writes adult, so I'm very excited. But that's what's been in the works.
Love.
What about you?
I'm trying to think. What did I read this week? I've had a little bit of a hard time since finishing House of Flame and Shadow.
Yes, me too. Book
It's been kind of hard. But I did get a Kindle, and so then I read some romance books. I'm blending the past like 2 weeks into 1 week because they kind of flew by for me. I've had a couple long weeks. Anyways, so I read Flawless from the Chestnut Spring series. Or the first one. That one was
Shut
really
the front
good.
door.
That was so good. I don't know why people talk about hockey romances. They should really talk about cowboy romances because yes, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, Rhett Eaton. Oh my gosh, he could walk all over me. I'd be fine with that.
I would happily climb that tree.
Cade Eaton?
Who?
Cade. That's Heartless,
that's the next
second book,
right?
yes.
Yeah, so I haven't started Heartless yet, but I read that, and then I read King of Wrath from the King of Sin series. Is that what it's called? Is that what the series is
I
called?
think it is King of Sins. Yeah,
Yes, I think it's
that's
right.
the first book, right?
Yes. Also, I didn't know how many books were gonna like end up being in the series, but I went and looked on our website today because I wanted to see if the synopsis for King of Sloth was out
Mm-hmm.
yet. There's gonna be 7 books in total for this series. There's after King of Sloth, there's 3 more that are still gonna come out, and they all have titles already.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
Because
didn't know
it's
that.
based off the 7 Deadly Sins.
Oh.
So 7 books would make sense.
What?
In your defense, I don't know what sloth is. Because I don't feel like that's one of the 7 deadly sins. Like there's wrath, pride, lust, envy.
Lust was one of the titles. That's the last book.
Yeah.
Is Lust. I don't remember what the other there was another title, one of the names. I was like, what the frick is that? I can't remember what it was though. Anyways, so I did read that. I liked it. It was fine.
Mm-hmm. Dante.
Is but he's
Vivian?
just so similar to her other characters in the Twisted series that I was like, all right, we need something different.
Yeah,
So I'm
I'll be
excited
honest.
to read Kai about Kai. We didn't like that one.
I mean, I'm a Anna Huang.
Yeah.
Huang stan. So I like anything she writes, but King of Pride is my least favorite book that she's ever written.
Oh well, that makes me not feel good about
but
it.
you should read it.
Okay, sure. I did start Book of Azrael, but for some reason I've had a hard time getting into fantasy. But I heard really good things about it from some of my other friends that read, and so I was like, okay, maybe we'll try it, but I have not been able to get into it, so I'm probably going to do more romance. I really want to read Girl Abroad. Oh, I did also start Percy Jackson, but I only read like 5 pages because I was with my family all weekend, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We're kind of jumping around a lot, trying to feel it out.
Wait, this is the best news for me because you'll find out that Abby is notoriously a fantasy reader and I'm notoriously a romance reader. And we dabble in each other's categories a little bit. So hearing that she's going to read romance is a dream come true.
Yes. Well, okay, to be fair, I've never read romance until like October.
Yeah.
And then my favorite is that my first romance book I ever read was Icebreaker. That's hilarious. What an intro.
What a great way to start.
What a great way to start. Anyways, and so I'm slowly getting into romance. I have a hard time sometimes with the intense smut, but you know how it
happens.
know how it be.
Yeah.
Okay, so we thought that for the first episode, it would be good to do something that would help you guys know who we are or get to know us a little bit better. So today we're going to discuss the books that got us into reading, how we ended up here. So who wants to go first?
I can go first because I have a very notable story that's ingrained in my mind of the day I started reading. I can tell you it was March of my junior year of high school. I know
that's
that to
so
a T.
late.
I know. I did not think reading was cool for a long time, and I was forced into it against my will because shout out Isabel, one of my best friends. But we tried out for my high school cheer team together, and we didn't know each other at the time. We were strangers. I was coming from all-star cheer. It was a big leap because from where I'm from, you don't leave all-star cheer. You're born and you're bred in all-star cheer, and you stay until you're a senior in high school. And so I jumped over my junior year, and it was very taboo. And I was like, okay, I have no friends. I don't know anybody here. Whatever. Our sisters, I have an older sister, she has an older sister, they're best friends, and they cheered together in college. So I think her sister put a little word out and was like, look out for this girl. She probably needs some friends.
Aw.
And she was very sweet. But she came up to me and was like, we're going to be friends. And I was like, okay, I've been told we're going to be friends. And she said, I have a book club, and we're going to see the movie of the book tomorrow. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I thought she was just inviting me to tag along. I was like, okay, I'll come. She's like, no, you have to read the book if you want to be there. And I laughed and I was like, haha, okay, sure. She was not joking. She's like, no, if you don't read the book, you're uninvited. I was like, oh my gosh. So I ran to the bookstore, and this was at cheer tryouts. After cheer tryouts, I ran to the bookstore, bought the book. It was Everything to Everything.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this.
I think it's by Nicola Yoon.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know how to say her name, but yes.
Yes. Everything. And she's like, you have to do it. I stayed up all night, a good 4 hours because it's pretty small, and just binged the book. And from there, I did get to go to the movie. It was mid, but I was friends with Isabel now, so that was great. I went on a Nicola Yoon fit.
Yes.
And I read The Sun Is Also a Star.
Yes, that was the other one.
The other one right after that slowly introduced me into YA contemporary romance kind of genre. I went to Every Day by David Leviathan. And then to 13 Reasons Why was a big one.
Really?
Yeah, anything you could think that was in that genre was all I read for months.
Would 13 Reasons Why be considered YA?
That's a great question. Probably not.
Yeah,
probably not. But
that's kind of wild.
Pivoted? That's not a word, is it?
Pivoted? That sounds more right.
Into the fifth wave. That was a big one. That was my first kind of fantasy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your first fantasy book you read?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I read Harry Potter when I was 5.
Shut up, but no way.
Just kidding. I have no gauge because I have no younger siblings to what a 5-year-old does. But you know how everybody in the 3rd grade is like, I read Harry Potter. And you're like, did you though? Because you didn't understand it.
Yes.
I did that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Barring that, probably Twilight.
Oh.
Okay. The slander. I love Twilight.
To be fair, I've never read Twilight. I've also never read Harry Potter. I was the kid that checked. We've discussed this before.
Oh my gosh.
I was the kid in elementary school that would check out the Harry Potter books from the library and then not actually read them because they were way above my grade level because I was pretty behind in reading. but I said I did, but I never actually did.
Yeah. What were you reading?
I read like Magic Treehouse and the freaking Rainbow Magic books with like the little fairies on them. You know what I'm talking about? Read those for forever. And like I read those probably way longer than I probably should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 6th grade?
No, but quite literally, like that was like 4th grade, probably like up until like 4th or 5th grade. That was probably what I was reading. I think mixed in there was like janitors. Do you remember janitors?
I don't know what that is.
It was like a middle grade book.
Interesting.
But again, I think there was like a lot of books like that I like started when I was younger but never finished. Anyways, so that was one of them. And then for a while I didn't read at all. So I like missed the phase of like when like Divergent was super popular, Hunger Games, Twilight, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and what was the other one? The freaking like matched one with like the girl and like glass ball.
Oh my gosh, that is such a core memory for me.
I feel like it's a core memory for a lot of people.
That and like the Uglies. Did you remember the Uglies?
I never read it, but I know what it is.
Yeah.
That's so freaking funny. It wasn't until high school that I like got it back into reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What's the series that like got you into reading the way you read now? Kind of.
Okay. So when I was in high school, the series that like got me into reading that I probably reread like literally like 5 or 6 times over and over again was the Selection series.
Iconic.
That book series was so freaking good. Like,
barring the last 2. Obviously.
But we don't talk about
that.
When I talk about the Selection series, I am talking about the first 3 books.
Yes.
We don't talk about the Heir and the Crown, but the first 3 books, also the like story of all the novellas, the like the Selection, the Happily Ever After, also super good. Anyways, that book series like quite literally like just made me love reading. I was like the first, like that was definitely my first book boyfriend, like
Maxon. We love him.
We love Maxon.
Do you remember the iconic quote? Isn't there one?
Yeah.
It's like
break my heart 1,000 times if you need. It was only your heart, my heart. Or wait, I messed it up. But it was only ever your heart to break, anyways, or something like that.
Wow, that was bars.
That was bars. I messed up a couple of words, but yeah.
Okay, the fact that you knew exactly what quote I was thinking of, it's like the quote of that book. Yeah.
I love it. So, anyways, the Selection series was like what really got me into reading. And then after I read the Selection series, I read Shatter Me series. But I read Shatter Me series when like Restore Me had just come out. Like I read Restore Me.
Is that 4?
I was like, that was the 4th book. And honestly, I think I like read it. Like I read the Selection, or not, sorry. I read the Shatter Me series literally, I think like the week Restore Me came out. So I was there like in the beginning of that book series.
Wow.
Like that was like junior year. Junior year was really where I like started like reading a ton. Anyway, so Shatter Me series was the other one. I remember Defy Me came out my senior year of high school, and I quite literally went to the library or went to Barnes and Noble and waited outside until 10 a.m. so I could go inside right at 10 a.m. to get it. And I sat and read it. I skipped school to get it.
Skip school?
Yeah, skipped school.
Where was Misty?
Well, my parents didn't care. I had a 4.0. They didn't care. At that point, I was in school all the time. They did not care. I did not attend high school. I was an awful student. Actually, I was a really good student. I just was a little depressed. We were a little depresso espresso, so...
Yeah, we are not promoting missing school, but if you are, you're not alone.
You're not alone. I had like 130 absences at the end of my junior year. I've told you this.
Shut the front door!
Well, because you can have like up to 4 absences a day, because you get like an absence for every class period. Yeah, I had a lot.
Oh yeah, you were working that.
Yeah, I was working hard. Anyway, so in the time that I was not at school, I was usually either watching Dance Moms, Grey's Anatomy, or I was reading, okay?
I love all of those things.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, that was how I got into reading, but I feel like I was always into fantasy. Like I very rarely didn't read fantasy. And for some reason, I just was like in a phase of like, I just like what I like reading, so I just would reread the like Selection series and the Shatter Me series over and over again. I think the Lunar Chronicles eventually made an appearance.
Love.
I don't remember them, but I did read them, and I read the first 5 Percy Jackson books, but I'm rereading them because I don't remember anything that happened in them. But yeah. So, but it was always fantasy for me. It wasn't. I never read romance.
See, also with rereading, I'm an avid rereader. Like if I find a series that I like, I shamelessly will go on to like a 5th or 6th reread.
Yes.
And people tell me all the time, they're like my husband, love him, but he'll be like, why do you buy a book? Like, you're not going to reread it. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I will.
It's good enough. I will reread it.
Yeah, and I have certain books I reread every single year. Like
Oh, for
the
sure.
whole series, I don't care, every year.
Yes. Last year I reread the Shadow Me series, the Selection series. Yeah, they just are the staples.
Yeah.
You gotta reread the staples. You gotta remember why you love reading. And also just once you've read them once, you read them so much faster.
Yeah, but you gotta be careful with that because there's a couple series that I like love, and then with each reread, I like them a little bit less. Like,
really?
for example, the Selection series. Selection was one of the first series I also picked up a little bit further down the way. But I think I've reread it maybe 3 or 4 times now, and I like America less and less every time I read it.
Yes. I feel like when I reread it this last time, it had been a couple years since I had read it, and so when I reread it, I was like, yeah, wow, she truly is extremely annoying.
Yeah,
and her decision making is so bad. But because at that point, because it means so much to me, it just like doesn't even matter. I'm like, oh, but I love it.
Yeah, if it's like a core memory, it's like it will not be forgotten, and I'll forever love it.
Exactly. So I feel like that's how the Selection is for me. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just read a lot of fantasy, but then I kind of stopped. I like literally didn't read in.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to read in college too. I was reading so hard. On average, maybe like 2 books a semester.
Yeah.
Which at this rate, like I think in January, I think I read like 23 books.
Yeah.
That month.
Oh yeah. So I think I read 15. Yeah. I don't know. I think honestly for me though, I think that when I was in high school, I read so much because I just didn't have a lot going on. I had quit cheer. And I just I had a lot of downtime. I was kind of depressed, and so I just kind of like read a lot. And so when I got to college, I was like all of a sudden had a social life, and I was like,
you're like, whoa,
we did stuff. We literally did stuff every single night. Every night. We would do school all day. We would go study at the library, and then we would get home, and it was like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. We'd be like, hey, what are we doing? We'd hang out until 1, and then you go to bed, do it all again. So I just I never read. And then I picked up photography and videography, and I feel like that replaced my free time for the most part, and not until later. I occasionally I think at some point went through a phase of I wanted to read again, so I reread the Selection series. Oh, and Children of Blood and Bone was another one that I loved. But other than that, I never read. It wasn't until I graduated and I was sitting there at night, and my boyfriend would play video games. This happens. I actually love it.
I have a boyfriend that does that. I have a husband that does that as well.
Genuinely, I actually love it. But anyways.
Oh, it's the perfect combination because so you kiss and you're like, okay, love you. And you do your respective activities right next to each other.
Yes, I love it, actually. I know people are like, I don't want my husband to play video games, but I'm like, no, I love it.
Oh, yeah. It's the best.
Yes, I support it 100%. So he would hang out, do his own thing. And usually at that time, I would do homework. But when I graduated, I didn't have homework, and I was like, well, I really need to fill my time doing something.
What to do?
Yeah, so I was like, let's read again, shall we?
Yeah.
And then I picked up SJM, and it was all just
it's a slippery slope from there. Once you start with SJM, you never stop.
You never stop reading after that. I truly, truly believe that. Anyway, so, yeah. Anything else that got you into reading?
I can think of your, what'd you call it, magic fairy books?
Oh, yeah, the Magic Rainbow Fairy books.
Yes, my equivalent was Dear Dumb Diary.
Yes.
If you've read it, with the girl with this is a terrible example. We have probably the same hair color now. It's dishwater brown. The dishwater brown hair, and she's kind of in the fetal position on some of them.
Yes.
That was the books. We had them. Mom, I don't know why we had this, but they were in our bathroom all the time.
Really?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And I read every single one, and then once I finished those, I went to Big Nate, which was the book that I got at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yes.
And then that pivoted into Dork Diaries.
Dork Diaries is the one that I remember and I read.
Yes, which I thought I was a quirky girl because I wasn't quite the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I mean, I read them. Of course I did.
I was pretty heavy into Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I love Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
You remember this was the book at the Scholastic Book Fair was the Diary of a Wimpy Kid do-it-yourself book.
Really?
You don't know what that is?
I don't remember that.
And it was I don't know how they did this, but it would be you open up a page and it was an activity, and it would be play tic-tac-toe all over this page or whatever. And some of them would be smear this page in peanut butter or something. And you're like, what in tarnation's name? Golly.
I do not remember that.
Oh, yeah, I did the whole thing twice, I think. I think I got it twice.
That's hilarious. Well, I love that for us. We always have, you gotta have a starting place.
Yeah, even if it's not the prettiest starting place, because I guarantee you if I went back and I read Everything, or some of those books now, I would not have the same reviews that I did.
Oh,
back
so
then.
bad. I still need to reread Children of Blood and Bone, because Children of Blood and Bone was one of my like favorite book series in high school as well. I loved it. And she's now finally coming out with the third book in June. So I need to reread them, but I'm like so scared to reread them because I'm like, what if I hate them?
I feel like you won't though, because I read the first one and I own the second one and I just haven't read it yet. But I remember the first one being really good.
Yeah, I feel like
I read it recently.
Yeah. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. But I literally also I had like a bin of books I was gonna give away that I had like double copies of or something like that. And I had double copies of Children of Blood and Bone. And originally I was gonna like I had like my oldest copies like in the bin and I was like, oh, I'm gonna donate these ones. And then I like was going through them and I realized that they were like the special edition, like the Barnes & Noble special edition copies of both of them.
Oh, really?
And so the books that I had on my shelves were like the black covers and the ones that I had like the inside, like the hardcover part of it was like one of them was red with like imprinted stuff and then the other one was blue. And I was like, what am I doing? Why am I getting rid of the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions?
Yeah, can't do that.
So I switched them and I got rid of the ones that were like kind of newer, but because I was like, I can't be getting rid of these.
Yeah.
Gotta hold on to the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions.
I know, the one thing I hate about those though, and you could probably see it back here on some of my books, is peeling off that sticker.
I never peel them off.
I did. And I ruined one of my books. It's over here in the corner. It's the True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren.
Oh.
I tried to rip it off and I like ripped the front of the book partially. And so now it has to sit like
sad.
Not cover out on my shelf because I ruined it. And now all my other ones, I just leave them on.
Yeah, I just leave them on. Unless it's like the signed copy like sticker, those ones come off.
Or the like buy one, get one 50. Those ones come off pretty easily, but not the exclusive edition.
No, I keep them on because I have to remember that they're the exclusive edition. You know what I mean?
It's a nice reminder. They're exclusive.
All right. For the last segment, we're going to do a rapid fire, as rapid as me and Leighton can do with ourselves, and we're going to do questions. We have already read through these questions and briefly, and hopefully we have answers, and we're going to answer. Both of us are going to answer each of the questions. So, Leighton, you're going to go first. For the first question is favorite book series of all time.
I love that this is the first question because this will be the easiest one because we both have the same exact favorite book series, which is Throne of Glass. So, obviously. Yeah, that's that one. That one is the favorite one for sure. Yeah. Anyways, okay, this is the harder one. The top 3 book boyfriends. Go. Okay, I'm so torn because some of them I'm like are a given. Like Rowan Whitethorn, is he a book boyfriend? Yes. Do I even need to mention him? No, because it's a given, right? Yes. And I primarily read romance, so the majority of mine are romance. Okay. And I don't think you've read any of them. But first and foremost, Ryan Shea. Well, you have to tell me what books they're from. The Right Move. Okay. Liz Tom Ford. Oh, yes. we used this book earlier in our photos. Yes, we did a photo shoot prior to this, and you best believe I took tons of photos with that book because I love Ryan Shea. Then, I don't know if he's number 1. These are all even. They're all even because I love them all. Which, actually, you have read this one. Josh Chen. Don't make that face. Why would you just like... From the Twisted Hate? For the Twisted Hate? Yeah. What? Wow, you were like not having that. Okay, barring the one thing he does at the very end of the book, if you know, you know. Yeah, the one thing. Yeah, we don't talk about that. But besides that, he's a doctor. Oh, here's the thing: is I loved Josh until the one thing, and I just could not get over it after that. I hear is a common thing. I understand. No. I just purged that from my memory, which is probably not correct. No, bad choice. I did a video where I did a bunch of like rankings from the Twisted series, and originally in the video I ranked all the men, and I said that Reese was lower than him, but I literally, after I posted the video, I was like, I have remorse, and that's just so not true. He is last for sure. Stop. Oh my gosh, maybe I take it back. No, don't take it back. You've already said it. It's been put out into the universe. Okay, next, fine. Your last one. I'll forgive you. I'm gonna say 2. because I
Fine.
can, and this is our podcast, and we make the rules.
Okay, fine.
Damon Torrance from Kill Switch, the third book in the Devil's Night series, which I know you're not a huge dark romance reader, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Everybody hits that point.
We're going to break me in at some point.
Yes. He's the best because you read the first 2 books, and for certain reasons, you absolutely despise him. I literally Googled, can I skip Kill Switch, because I didn't want to read his book. And then I read it. It was the best book in the entire series. I would die for Damon Torrance. I love him. And then honorary mention is Cade Eaton from Heartless.
Oh, everyone, I'm so excited to read that book.
I'm so excited for you to read that book.
He's the one with the little kid, right?
Yes, single dad vibes. Single dad cowboy vibes.
That's what we like to hear.
Yes.
That's what we like to hear. Okay, perfect. Okay, my 3 book boyfriends. Not that you just freaking had some slander over there, but I was going to say that my book boyfriends are Rowan Whitethorn.
Obviously, yes. I approve.
Thank you. Also, is it Whitehorn or Whitethorn? We discussed this earlier.
I say Whitethorn. White.
Did we talk about this earlier? Was it you and me that were talking about this?
No.
I talked about this with someone where I always say thorn, but I actually think it's horn.
Whitehorn?
Yeah.
I take it back. He's not a book boyfriend anymore.
No, I can't remember though. I don't know why. I've had this switched in my head too many times now. This is so awkward. Anyways, but love him. Rune Dannon.
Oh my gosh, he is slept on, especially after CC3. CC3, Rune Dannon, and You Know Who. If you haven't read it, we won't spoil it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we won't spoil it.
Love.
Oh, so freaking good. Anyway, so he is hardcore book boyfriend for me. I was gonna say also Maxon from the Selection series, just because he's just OG book boyfriend. But because you gotta do 4, I'm gonna do 4 too. I'm also going to say Kai from Powerless because
oh my gosh, wait. If you cut every single time I've gasped in this podcast, that would be 400 already. But I love Powerless.
We love Powerless around here. We will do an episode about Powerless because we're very big
Kai Azar.
So freaking good. Anyways, those are my book boyfriends. Okay, top 3 female characters.
Oh my gosh, this is
book girlfriends.
This is so hard for me because I feel like top FMCs are usually not from romance books because they don't usually do that much in romance books. But obviously, Aelin, you know, that's a given. She will forever be my number 1, always.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, another one that I'm thinking about, which this may be premature because I said I just started the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Horu is the main girl.
Okay.
Love her. Very self-sufficient. Similar to Aelin, she just does everything herself. Does not need a man. Has a man, but does not need one. I
love that for you.
And third, I know who it's gonna be. Which I don't know if you ever got around to reading this series, but Inej from 6 of Crows.
Oh, no, I haven't read it yet.
Her nickname is literally the Wraith. That's all you need to know. She's that cool.
I've heard that people really like her character. So that is not surprising.
She's amazing. I aspire to be her on a daily basis.
I love that. Also, I'm literally panicking sitting here because I can think of 2, but I can't think of who my third one is.
Okay, maybe I'll help you.
Because I was gonna say Payton from Powerless, but then I panicked because I already said Kai, so I can't do that again. But I was gonna say Aelin, obviously.
Yes.
We're really basic around here, if you couldn't tell.
This is a Throne of Glass superiority complex here.
We don't agree on a lot of things, but the things about SJM and Throne of Glass in general are really where we thrive.
I think we have similar rankings of SJM books as well, which are not what everybody else has. No. But once again, another episode, another time.
Anyway, so Aelin, for sure. Also Lydia from Crescent City.
I didn't even think. Wow.
Just genuinely, after reading that book series,
Incredible.
By far is top 3 favorite females. I'm absolutely obsessed with her. And it wasn't even the fact that she ends up being who she is. It was just genuinely, I am obsessed with her character and just everything that... Anyways, I could go on about her for forever. I absolutely love her character. So, and I was thinking she's one of the best written characters that SJM has written, just in general. So, love her. I was going to say Payton, but now I'm trying to think of someone else.
What's the main girl's name from Shatter Me?
Oh, but I don't like her. Juliet. I actually don't like Juliet at all.
Really?
Mm-mm.
What?
But I think it's just because she just kind of complains a lot and she doesn't really do anything. In all honesty,
fair enough.
She just throws a tantrum and then kills everyone, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, love her." Anyways, I don't like her.
Love her.
Love her. But also she can be a leader somehow. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me.
Oh my gosh, wait, can I do another honorary mention? And this is from a romance book, kind of.
Oh yeah, do it.
Shannon from Binding and Keeping 13. We were just talking about this, I was saying Abby needs to read it. She is incredible. She has a terrible home life and she perseveres and she's amazing. She's like 16 at the time. When I was 16, I was doing nothing of value.
I love that.
I was probably sleeping and cheering, and that was about
doing nothing.
So
I was also gonna say Nesta, but I also felt like that was really pathetic of me to also give another SJM character.
yeah, honestly, another one I thought of was Lysandra.
Oh, that's so true.
But like, I felt bad giving only SJM
SJM?
characters. I was like, okay, fine.
I could say I do actually. So I'm not really vibing with this Woven Kingdom series, but Eliza is the main character, female, and I actually think she is so sick. Like,
really?
She's a really cool character.
Is she an assassin by chance?
Yes, kind of.
That's the key.
Not really, but kind of. I'll have to tell you about it later because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But
okay,
yeah, she's pretty sick. Honestly, the guy in that one too, Cyrus. I need you to read that series. I need you to read the most recent book because the most recent book really wasn't that good, but the romance in that book.
Yeah, you're like 10 out of 10.
Yeah, we were there for the romance. Anyways, okay, we're doing a terrible job of making these rapid.
Yeah,
fire.
we said it was gonna be rapid. It has not.
It's not been rapid. Okay, immediate buy author. So like, if an author comes out with a book, you're immediately buying no matter what.
Okay, this one is pretty easy. I have like a list right off the top of my head. Elsie Silver, for sure. She's Chestnut Springs. Liz Tom Ford, Windy City series, obviously. Anything L. Kennedy, a given. I love the Devil's Night series so much. Probably Penelope Douglas, but I have not read all her books, and I have heard some of them are out there.
Yeah.
So that one is a maybe. But I did discover one with Allie Hazelwood, and I bought Bride without knowing what it was about. And all you need to know is one word, and that is Omegaverse.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this.
Yeah. If you know, you know. And that one threw me, but I'm like, wow, that just proves that was an immediate buy because I didn't even read the synopsis.
Yes.
I just picked it up and I said, yeah, okay.
Love. I think mine are Tahara Mafi, so she's the one that does Shatter Me series, and then this Woven Kingdom. She really doesn't have a ton of books, but when she has come out with books, I'll always buy it. SJM, I'll always buy her books.
Oh, yes, always.
I want to say Rebecca Yaros, but I've only bought her Fourth Wing books and then a couple of her romance books, and I haven't actually read them, but I just really like her writing style, so I feel like I'm going to lean more into some of her writing. And then I feel like for romance, I will probably always buy Hannah Grace's book. She's the one that does Icebreaker and Wildfire. She's coming out with Daydream soon. I love those romance books, so I feel like I would buy anything that she comes out with.
Honorary mention, Anna Huang.
Oh,
I will also buy everything she writes, even if it's a carbon copy.
No, literally.
Of what it was before.
I'm like looking at your bookshelf. I'm like, what else? I'm like, I don't really know.
They're like
exactly.
sorted by authors practically, so you can just see like the clusters of everything. Cassandra Clare. I mean, I just bought Swordcatcher, which is I think her newest book.
Yeah, it's her most recent one.
Yeah, but I'm a diehard Mortal Instruments fan, so.
You also really like what's her face, Marissa Meyer.
Oh, I do like Marissa Meyer. She did Renegades, which I know you didn't love, but I devoured. So
which happens. Anyways, that's my immediate buy authors. I know there's probably more, but I can't think of any.
And Lauren Roberts. I know she only has Powerless, but you best believe I'm buying Powerful and Reckless.
Yes, we will buy. Lauren, listen to me now. You put words on a page, and we will buy it immediately.
Yes. Your grocery list? Yes.
Yep.
I would buy it.
I will buy it. Don't even worry. Okay. Worst book you've ever read?
Okay. This is not. I'll preface this with this is objectively probably not the worst book I've ever read because I didn't DNF it, and I DNF'd books because I didn't like them. But it's a book that everybody loves that like I disliked with the most significant of passions, and that is the From Blood and Ash series.
Oh.
I say series, I only read the first book. I did not like it. It was like 700. Okay, that was so dramatic. I think it was maybe like 500 pages. Yeah. But I closed the book and I said I couldn't tell you one thing that I read. I think nothing happened except something about I won't say that. That's the reveal at the end. But the reveal at the end was unhinged.
Yeah, it was a little. Yeah, I actually really did like the first book, but I heard that it just gets worse and worse as it goes on. I just never read the rest of the series, so.
It makes me so mad because I see all these TikToks of Castile. And I'm like, oh my gosh, who is this boy? I want to read about him. And then I find out he's from the From Blood and Ash series, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Love.
Will not be reading.
I feel like my worst book I've ever read was this random book I saw in Barnes & Noble when I was in high school. It was like The Loneliest Girl in the World or something like that. It was like a tiny little book.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know. I literally think I read like 50 pages of it, and it was literally awful. Like, I don't remember what it was, but I DNF'd it, and that was the first book I've ever DNF'd ever in my life.
Okay, yeah, I kind of have a complex at the same time where I try really hard not to DNF books.
Yes.
Until recently, where I had this realization where I'm like, wow, I read for my own enjoyment and entertainment, and nobody's forcing me to read this. So if I don't want to, I don't have to.
See, I think my issue is that I'm just way too optimistic when I'm reading. I just keep going because I'm like, it's gonna get better. Like, something's gonna happen, and then and it never does. It's always so bad.
Yeah.
Also, probably one of the worst books I've ever read too was, there's a book series. The first one's The Trial of the Sun Queen, and Trial of the Sun Queen was fine. But you have it?
I have it on my bookshelf right there.
Okay, well, the second book, The Ruler of the Aurora King, was so bad.
Wait, that's low-key been on my TBR because I kind of liked it. Because
I liked the first book. The second book was awful.
Yeah, The Trial of Sun Queen was like, I was told it was like The Bachelorette meets ACOTAR, kind of.
Yeah.
And that might be a little dramatic, but
I agree.
The idea is there, and I liked it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I liked the first book, but the second book, it just all goes. It's just so bad. Yeah, that one was bad. There was another one that I just thought about too. Wow, I don't mean to be a hater on books. Oh, this was another one because people love this book, and it's probably one of the only books I've rated a 1 star. And that was
1 star. Golly.
That was Queen of Nothing, the last book in the Cruel Prince series. That is the stupidest book I've ever read.
Okay, actually, I don't know why I'm having that big of a reaction because I didn't love that series either.
No,
but I liked it.
No,
no,
stupid. I love Jude and Carden. But their story,
I don't even know about Carden. I mean,
I love her. I love Jude.
Book 2 Carden, a slay. Book 1 Carden, I don't.
He was can go die in a hole.
Yeah, it was a true bully romance. Like, he was bullying to the full extent.
For sure. Okay, we suck at this rapid fire thing. Last book you DNF'd.
Okay, I had to check my book app because I actually couldn't remember, but it was Offsides by Avery Keelan. Which is crazy. Well, honestly, I feel bad because it's the 3rd book in the Rules of the Game series, hockey romance series. I liked the first 2 books. Like, The Shutout, the first book, I really liked. I think I gave it, probably like 3.5 stars, but it was good. Like the second book, I was reading Offsides when CC3 came out, and you best believe I dropped that so fast.
Yes.
Said CC3, I will be there.
Yes.
I couldn't even wait for my CC3 to get here in the mail. I bought it on audio, so I spent like $30 on the audiobook and $30 on the book.
Absolutely.
So, I feel bad it just fell victim to SJM, as many books have, but,
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I love that. I have 2 books, and I just can't remember, because it's been a while since I've DNF'd a book, because like I said, I'm really optimistic when I read, and I keep going thinking it's going to get better. Or a lot of times I'll just put a book down, but like, it's not like I DNF'd it, it's just like a pause, wasn't feeling, I gotta come back to it later, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So there's 2 books the last time I DNF'd something, and I can't remember which one came first. The first one was the second book in the Poppy War series, The Dragon Republic, or something like that, I think is what it's called. And that book series, genuinely, I think if I was really into historical fantasy, I would have really, really liked it.
Yeah.
But I'm just not. And there are parts of it that are really interesting, but it just I don't know. It was not for me. It was not for me. The romance thing outside, there's like a novella, and I did read parts of the novella, and that literally rips your heart to shreds, and you're like, wow, this kind of sucks. But I just ended up spark noting it and reading the synopsis because I was I just want to know what happens. This is dragging out too long. So I didn't love that. And then the other book that happened, I'm pretty sure shortly after, around the same time, was I DNF'd Legendary in the Caraval series. I DNF'd the second one. And I never read
face. Because I DNF'd Carval.
You did? I thought you were gonna get mad at me.
No, oh my gosh.
Wait, did you ever finish A Curse for True Love? We never talked about it.
I also DNF'd A Curse.
You did?
Okay.
I don't blame you.
In my defense, I kind of DNF'd. I get a lot of stuff from Libby, so I borrow it from my library, and I only have 20 some odd days to read it, which is a lot, because normally I can read a book in like a day or two.
Yeah.
So like 20 days is a lot, but like I could not get into it. I think I got like 60% of the way through it, and I could not power through. And then it expired, and I said, good riddance.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's pretty bad. So yeah, I DNF'd Legendary, and it was not for me. Tella was really annoying, so I never finished it. So, and I probably never will. But I have the books. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a Stephanie Garber girl. Except
I don't know.
The Ballad of the Never After, is that the second one? Yeah, I loved the second one.
That is in like that's like one of like the only like books I rated 5 stars.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I loved that one, and then the third one was just not it.
It missed the mark for sure. Anyways, another episode for another time. Okay, most recent fave book.
I feel ill prepared for this question all of a sudden.
Do you want me to go first?
Yes. Let me look at my book app.
Yeah, look at your book app.
Speak.
My most recent fave book was A Flame and Shadow, House of Flame and Shadow, which is CC3, which is like a given. I honestly really, really loved Flawless from Chestnut Springs.
Yes.
That was one of my also more recent fave books. And then I just barely finished All This Twisted Glory, and I didn't love the book, but the romance aspect of it was so good, like so giddy. It's just the definition of a freaking slow burn.
Really?
Yes. So like the book itself is not good, like the plotting, but the romance part, love.
But I'm like there for the romance.
Exactly. So like I was there for, honestly, I got to the point where I was like, I'm here for the romance only, and it is a slow burn, but but the burn is good.
I'm really not usually a slow burn girly either, because I am impatient.
I am too.
So, but if it's a really good one, then I'm like, oh, okay, fine.
The tension is fierce.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yes. Anyways, okay, those are my more recent fave books.
Okay, I have a lot, so I'll like rapid fire a few. But I just read Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, which incredible. Which is funny because I read her. I think it's called the Dirty Air series. That's like the Formula One, and I did not love. I also read the Dreamland Billionaire Sisters, sure, series.
Yeah,
and I did not love those either. Well, Terms and Conditions, the second one, Marriage of Convenience, slayed. The rest, not that great. So I was really shook when I liked it. I also read Powerless recently. That was in January.
Powerless was another one too in January.
But you'll hear us echo the same books over and over again. Finding and Keeping 13 were in January, which love. Waiting for Saving 6 right now.
No, the light.
The light.
No, I knew this was gonna happen.
Did it die?
For those of you who are listening on the podcast, our light just died, so our video is about to be so dark and disgusting. Hold on, pause. Everyone that's on video, sorry. We're just gonna chalk it up to we're bad at this and new, so we'll be more prepared next time with our lighting situation. Okay, this next question is fave book talkers.
Oh my gosh, Abby.reads too.
Shut up.
Love her.
Love her.
Tune into all her videos. Also, Lexi. I don't know what her last name is, but you know who I'm talking about.
I do. Oh.
Yes. Lexi.
Yes. The one that has the glasses.
Yes, she doesn't even need a last name because she's the Lexi. I love her so much. I watch all of her YouTube videos. I just watched her Credence one because I read Credence.
She's
another video, another
funny.
time.
Love her.
Yes.
I do love her. I also love Mercedes. Mercedes is the one that she did the like her viral video was like she did the like review on like the how do I don't know what the book was called. It was like random book that she read, and she did this like she does like reviews in her kitchen.
Stop. Genius. Probably would recognize her if I saw her.
You would
on TikTok. But
shout out Mercedes, we love you.
Yes. Another person I can think of is Madison Kate Reads.
Yes.
She had black hair. She just dyed it bright red.
Oh my gosh, she popped on my For You page, and I was like, oh my gosh, her hair is red.
She's living my dream because I've always wanted to be a redhead, which Abby can attest to since like freshman year of college.
Yes.
Also,
this is true.
I don't know if she does TikToks, but YouTube, Kari Can Read. She lives in Seoul, Korea.
Really?
Yeah, does
don't
all of her
know if I
videos from
follow-
there. She's awesome.
I love her. I also love Jolie. Jolie reads. She love her. I've chatted with her a couple of times. We like both like kind of started going viral and like gaining followers kind of like the same time.
Yes.
So I love her. I also love again I don't know any of their last names, but Erica. She was like she posted like her journey about like reading Throne of Glass and stuff. I love her.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Stop. Another person I can think of, kind of. Well, I wouldn't even say she's a book talker because I was watching her podcast actually.
Oh.
But I was telling you, I was watching the Broski Report. Brittany Broski. I did not know she was a reader. I was like,
so
shut
funny.
the front door. But I was telling Abby that she was going off about Throne of Glass because she just barely started it. And her favorite character in Throne of Glass is actually Kale. And then she politely informed us that she is currently halfway through Crown of Midnight. And I said,
That's hilarious.
yes, that makes a lot of sense. All of a sudden.
No, I'm like rapid fire, just a couple. I love Eden, the one that has like she's from England or whatever, has a British accent.
Queen.
Love her. Kira Lewis, who like sobs uncontrollably.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Also, what's the guy's name? Daniel, I think is what his name is. He's like long curly hair. He does like here's Throne of Glass in 60 seconds and like does those videos.
Yes.
So funny. His videos are hilarious. I love him. I'm trying to think of who else. Shout out to all of you. Love all of you. Every single one.
I can picture like 3 people's faces in my head right now, but I could not.
Too. I cannot think, but we'll tag some people if we're able to.
Yes.
Because yes, love them. Okay, last 2 questions. Fave romance book and fave fantasy book series. Go. You can do it. First one that comes to mind.
Okay. Don't kill me. I think I have to do it. The Windy City series by Liz Tom Ford. It starts with Mile High, then goes to The Right Move, and ends with Caught Up.
Oh, yeah.
And there's another book coming out, I believe, in July for romance.
Mm-hmm.
Every single book, chef's kiss. She's an absolutely amazing author. I don't know how she does it. Fantasy book? Is this barring Throne of Glass?
Yeah, bar Throne of Glass.
Yeah, so we add a little bit more diversity.
Yes.
Is this barring Powerless as well?
Yes, barring Why can't I talk? We're getting tired here.
Oh my gosh, I gotta look at my shelf. Okay. Can it be fantasy and or sci-fi?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Scythe. The Arc of a Scythe
Oh.
by Neil Shusterman.
Yeah,
3 books long. Scythe, Thunderhead, then The Toll. I kid you not, I've never seen any better like full circle writing. Things in book 1 were alluding all the way to things in book 3, and at the end of book 2, if you've read it before, something big happens. Did not see it coming. So full circle. I literally had a conniption and wasn't walking for like 3 days.
That's hilarious.
Incredible.
Okay, my favorite romance book series that I've read is the Maple Hills book series. So that's Icebreaker and Wildfire. Absolutely love. And then my favorite fantasy book, Scratching SJM books, because those are top 3 is Fourth Wing. I don't actually know what she calls that book series. Like that. What is it called?
Empyrean series?
Yes. I think you're right. Something like that. Anyways, that's like again one of my top favorite fantasy book series.
Shut the front door. I totally forgot about Fourth Wing.
I know. We love Fourth Wing around here as well.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like we did a pretty good job. Leighton was nervous that like we like needed like a really solid plan that like we weren't gonna be able to like talk.
Yeah.
That was really cute of us to think.
Yeah, I was also really nervous because my biggest, I have 2 fears. Well, I have, like, if I were in Divergent, I wouldn't be 4. I'd be, like, 557 because I'm afraid of everything. Yes. However, my biggest fears, 1, tube slides, but that is not the time nor the place. 2, public speaking, and I know it's only the 2 of us in this room, but it feels public. So I was a little nervous.
Feels weird. Anyway, so yes, I'm very proud of us for where we figured it out. Thank you all for tuning in. Obviously we will be posting every Thursday, so you guys can join in. You can also follow us on all of our social media pages. We are at LA Reads Podcast, I think, on all of our social medias. Mm-hmm. Yep. We will link everything down below in our description, I think is how that works, right?
Yes. Please leave suggestions for podcast videos you want to see or TikTok videos you want to see, Instagram, anything. We're open to recommend.
Give us all the ideas, what books you want us to talk about, and yeah, we will see you all next Thursday.
Bye.
That was even... Bye.